Today, we're going to talk about a crisis that almost shut down a really beloved children's hospital in Beijing. It's a story that starts with a court verdict and a massive debt, but it ends up revealing something, well, something really powerful about trust and what we all decide truly matters.
It all kicks off with this number, 26 million yuan. That's the staggering debt that was hanging over the Smile Angel Children's Hospital, a figure so huge it was about to bring the whole thing crashing down. And you know, this wasn't just about the money. After losing 2 major lawsuits, boom, the hospital was officially facing eviction. This was a verdict that threatened its very existence and, more importantly, the future for thousands of kids.
So yeah, that's where our story really begins, with this immediate, intense crisis facing the hospital and its founder, the well-known actor Yapeng. You can just imagine the pressure, right? Everyone was watching.
But here's what's absolutely incredible. Yapeng's first public reaction. He wasn't talking about the debt or the lawsuits or the eviction notice. No, his priority was crystal clear with this statement. The 137 scheduled surgeries must be completed. His focus was laser sharp, and it was all about the kids.
Right, and we have to remember, 137 isn't just some random number on a page. That's 137 kids, 137 families, all of them counting on these life-changing surgeries to correct a cleft lip or palate. For them, this wasn't some business squabble, this was everything. It was their hope. So, to really get why this was such a huge deal and why the public reacted the way they did, we've got to go back a bit and look at the incredible legacy this hospital built over 18 years. For almost 2 decades, this place has been a total beacon of hope. Think about it. Even during the pandemic, when donations basically dried up, this place never shut its doors, not for a single day, which is why this whole eviction thing, it just feels so wrong, you know?
And the impact, it's honestly hard to wrap your head around. 16,000. That's how many free surgeries they've done for kids. 16,000 children who were given a new smile and a brand new shot at life.
And this dedication, it ran deep. I mean, for 7,000 of those families, they didn't pay a single cent. Nothing. And even when money was super tight, the medical staff, they always got their paychecks. This was the kind of place where, when the AC broke, a nurse just went out and bought a fan for the kids with her own money. Heck, Yapeng himself sold his own stuff to cover the costs. This wasn't just a job, it was a mission. Okay, so the hospital's on the brink. The news gets out. And what happens next? Well, this is where the story takes a huge turn. This is where the public delivered its own verdict.
You might expect a lot of finger-pointing, right? But that's not what happened. Not at all. Instead, this absolute flood of support started pouring in from everywhere. People weren't looking at a failed business. They were looking at 18 years of incredible service, and they responded.
And the scale of this, just wow. So remember that 26 million yuan debt? Well, in what felt like no time at all, the public donated 23 million. 23! They almost wiped the whole thing out. It was just this powerful, undeniable statement of trust.
So who were these people? All 340,000 of them? Well, they were retired teachers, dipping into their grocery money. There were families of kids who'd been treated there, sending back 2,000 yuan. They were just countless everyday people sending in whatever they could. 1 yuan, 10, 100, it all added up. And it wasn't just individuals. A company in Kunshan offered up a huge space rent-free. And entrepreneur Li Kuok-ching pledged to fund 100 more surgeries.
Okay, so now they have 23 million yuan. The easy thing to do would be to just pay off the debt, right? Solve the problem. But no. Instead, Yapeng did something that set a really powerful precedent. He made a clear statement about what that money was really for. He said, point blank, "This money is to save the children. Not a single penny can be used to pay the rent." He drew a hard line in the sand. This money, he was saying, wasn't a bailout fund. It was a promise. And that right there is the absolute heart of this whole story. Look, the rent issue, that's a business dispute. It's between a landlord and a tenant, a commercial problem. But the 23 million yuan in donations, that's something else entirely. That is a sacred trust. It's a promise made between 340,000 regular people and the kids who desperately need these surgeries.
And that was it. End of story. To use that money for a commercial debt would have been a betrayal of every single one of those people. This decision was the ultimate sign of respect for those 340,000 individual acts of trust.
So where does this leave Smile Angel Hospital? Well, its future is uncertain. But its legacy? Oh, that's stronger and clearer than it has ever been.
Look, the physical hospital building, that might be gone soon. They might have to take the sign down from the door, but the thing they actually built over 18 years, the trust, the impact, all those smiles, you can't evict that. No way.
And it really makes you think, doesn't it? What is the real measure of a charity's worth? Maybe it's not about having a perfect balance sheet, but about having the persistence to keep going when things get tough. It's not about grand, flawless gestures, but about the sincerity you bring every single day. The real value? Well, it's in those 16,000 smiles they helped create. And it's in the 340,000 hearts they moved when everything was on the line.
And for me, that's the real lesson here. The story proves that some things a court judgment just can't move, and time itself can't erase them. That incredible goodwill, the trust built from just trying to do the right thing, that's permanent.